Hey everybody, welcome to the kitchen. A very important day. Everybody's probably super happy, except for those who don't own any Bitcoin. But today is a video where I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is derivative assets and crypto. So for example, if you own Tesla, any of the mining companies like Marathon or HUT8, MicroStrategy, Square, PayPal, any of those companies, anything that holds any Bitcoin, you need to watch this video. And today is a very important day because a couple of things happen. But again, without further ado, let's just jump in real quick and go through this. So disclaimer, of course, as always, this is my observations for entertainment value for you guys. Please consult your investment advisor before you make any decisions in the marketplace at all. Second of all, it's going to be heavy numbers. I was working. I didn't sleep last night because of all the news, and I probably look wrecked right now, but I've been working through lots and lots of tabulations today to share with you all, to show you the impact of what happens to stocks when they have Bitcoin in their treasury, and what impact can we expect over future price predictions. So all that's going to be in this actual presentation right now. So please, if you like this content, it means a lot if you hit the like. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe. And I'm trying to get better at pushing that. Never did that much in the past. Anyway, thank you so much. So let's just jump right in. Obviously, you've all heard this 100 times to death. In retrospect, it was inevitable. But the really interesting thing is this post happened on the 29th of January. I made a video 2 days before, and it was my top 10 future price predictions that you need to know to make money in the market. And one of them was that Elon Musk would put a certain amount of their $19 billion in cash into Bitcoin. I just didn't expect it to happen so fast and have such a big impact. So again, good news, really important. So I put together a framework, and I call this my Treasury framework. As usual, I like to put out unique content that has money-making ideas in it and share it with you all for free, so you can become free and take part of this massive revolution that is just unbelievable. I wake up every day thinking, how am I so lucky? Anyway, I look at the Bitcoin holdings of many different companies, including Marathon, HUT8, MicroStrategy, Square, Tesla, etc. I look at the Bitcoin per share. I look at the premium on the Bitcoin per share, and then I map out future share price predictions based on Bitcoin movements. So a lot of moving parts, but I put together a very simple framework where I can throw a ton of information at you guys and you can absorb it. And as usual, stay till the very end. I've got conclusions that are very valuable to everybody. So first of all, let's talk about the big family. Weird thing happened. Two of my biggest holdings came together, and it was long awaited. In fact, there's another holding that's actually quite big too, but now when I look at portfolio concentration, it's massive. So when you take, close to being $1 trillion asset Bitcoin with close to being another $1 trillion asset Tesla, push them together, who in the world can deny this match made in heaven? So that's the first thing I just want to share with you all. Now, I'm going to jump right in and talk about MicroStrategy. You all are very familiar with that. I had a lot of love messages today. MicroStrategy had a huge day as well, like all these other derivative assets, as I call them. And derivatives are my favorite thing. Options, derivatives, futures. That's kind of my world, not only for making money, but also managing risk. And a huge part of this channel is about risk management. So I'm going to talk briefly about MicroStrategy and what has happened, but thank you for all the love messages. There's people in the United Kingdom, there's people in Malaysia, there's people in Australia, people in New Zealand. Did I say the United Kingdom? I think so. All over the US and Canada that actually purchased MicroStrategy back in December when I was pounding my fist on the table. So everybody's really happy right now. Let's talk real quick. So my December trade that I published, and I made 3 videos on because people couldn't wrap their heads around it. As of 8 a.m. this morning, it was up 34,000% today. That is the 8th of Feb. And that's just in 7 weeks. As of 1 p.m. today, at the close of the market, it was up 44,000%. Again, 5 hours later, 44,000%. Now, that's the type of stuff you learn on this channel. So if you're interested in making money, like for real, not fake YouTube stuff, but real stuff, please subscribe. Anyway, let's jump further in and let's look at the chart real quick of what MicroStrategy has done. As you know, 16th of December, it was in the 290 range, and today it closed well over $1,000. Now, in a video that I put together back in December, my forecast was for MicroStrategy to be at 1145 by December of this year. And I made that 12 months earlier. Basically, I made that prediction 7 weeks ago. And we're nearly there already, which is just unthinkable. But looking at this real quick, MicroStrategy has gone up 3x and Bitcoin has only gone up 1.4x. But the impact of that is kind of huge. And let me explain why. So let's look at the Bitcoin holdings. So again, this is the framework that you got to get used to as you go through all these different stocks. And if you own any of these stocks or thinking about buying them, you need to watch this video. So the MicroStrategy price, when I put all these numbers together, was $950. Went up another $100 since I put the slide together. The Bitcoin price, $43,000. The Bitcoin that they own is $71,079. The market cap was $9 billion. Bitcoin value, $3 billion. Therefore, the net cap remaining is about $6 billion. Let's call that intrinsic value, and that's important for my calculations going forward. And the number of shares, about 9.6, 9.7 million. So a very important ratio that I put together, because you know, if you know me, you know I like ratios. It's a good way to frame things up. They are approximately 33% Bitcoin, 66% capitalization. And that's very important as well as we go forward. Now, the Bitcoin premium, a lot of people, let me take a step back here and make sure you all follow. A lot of people, even companies like JP Morgan, bought MicroStrategy as a call option on the future of Bitcoin. But you have to understand something very important. When you buy that, part of the money goes towards stuff other than Bitcoin. You're not buying pure Bitcoin, but you're buying other things like the organization MicroStrategy itself. So let's look at these numbers and make sure you all get that. Buying one share of MicroStrategy means you buy 0.00735 Bitcoins at the price today. So that means if you buy a share, which now costs $950, you could have bought it for $297 weeks ago, you are buying about $316 worth of Bitcoin value, and your premium on purchase is $633. So that's where that 66% comes from, the premium to own Bitcoin, which is very high. But let's look forward at probably the most interesting thing for everybody is I built out future price predictions based on future Bitcoin prices. So the first number I took was 43,000, which is the Bitcoin price today. And then I took 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, and $500,000 of the Bitcoin price, and what impact that would have on MicroStrategy price. So you see here, I had 950. If Bitcoin goes to $50,000, it would be over $1,000. $100,000, $1,369, etc. These are the fair intrinsic values. If it goes to $200,000, MicroStrategy should be over $2,000 a share. $300,000 would be $2,841. $400,000, $3,577, and $500,000, $4,313. Now that takes into account an intrinsic value of their business of that $6 billion, and the rest is basically Bitcoin gravy. So think about that. Now, it won't be completely accurate, but it'll be very close in those ranges as we go out over time, assuming, of course, that Bitcoin hits these levels. But as usual, let's look at Tesla, because that's the hot one today. So, same framework. Tesla at the price today of $858, and I knew it wouldn't spike because they don't have that much Bitcoin compared to their market cap, and that's the real message of this whole presentation today. The Bitcoin price, 43,000. Bitcoin owned, I estimate 40,000. So I think they've been buying Bitcoin over the last 10 days, and I did a quick back of the napkin calculation. You know, they spent 1.5 billion, and the average price should have netted them at least 40,000 Bitcoins. The market cap is 813 billion. The Bitcoin value is only 1.72 billion. And the net cap balance is 811 billion. That's the intrinsic value of the business. And they have a float of about 950 million shares. That gives Tesla a Bitcoin holding ratio of 0.21% Bitcoin. So I had a flood of messages today. All of a sudden, people that haven't bought Tesla yet are asking me, oh, they just bought Bitcoin. Should I buy Tesla now? So if you're buying Tesla to own Bitcoin, the answer is there in the numbers. But I'll do a big conclusion at the end so you can all follow. The Bitcoin premium you would pay if its cost per share is $858, Bitcoin value is $1.81 per share. Therefore, your premium is 99.79%. And future price predictions. Here you can see the impact of Bitcoin going from 40 to 50 all the way up to $500,000. And the impact on price, if you assume a price today of $858 and the intrinsic value of the business does not change, and Bitcoin goes to $500,000 of coin, the impact on the price of Tesla will be $877. So you're only getting $19 more per share. Okay, so I hope everybody sinks in there. If you are buying Tesla to ride the Bitcoin train, it's not going to be your solution. Let's go further. Square, another big one. By the way, I hold everything in this list with the exception of Marathon. So Square have a Bitcoin holding of 4,079 Bitcoins. And I did the same thing, market cap, Bitcoin value, etc., across their shares. And I calculate a Bitcoin holding ratio of 0.15% Bitcoin. Again, very small. Again, running in the numbers, if you buy a share of Square, you're buying 0.0000935 Bitcoins, or basically 40 cents goes towards Bitcoin of the $265 per share. So again, it's not going to get you very far. And the impact in price, basically, if Bitcoin goes to $500,000, it'll only add $4 to the share price. So you see, there's not a lot of gravy there. Now, HUT8. This is the mining company that won my little analysis. I know a lot of you are very passionate about things like Marathon and Hive and Riot. But again, from my perspective, I like HUT8. Just a summary, I like the management team. I like their business model. And I like the fact that they have a large percentage of Bitcoin. So the HUT price, $5.10. Bitcoin price, 43,000. They own 3,000 Bitcoin. Market cap, 568 million. Bitcoin value is 129 million. And they have 111 million shares. So what this means is their Bitcoin as a percentage of the overall business is nearly a quarter, like I said in my analysis last time. So that will be very interesting to see what impact that will have on share price as we go forward. Let's have a look, shall we? So when you buy one share of HUT8, it means you're buying 0.00002 Bitcoins. But remember, it's only $5 a share. It's not like buying a stock at $1,000 a share, as is the case with MicroStrategy, or $850 a share, that is the case with Tesla. So for every basic share you buy about 1.4 Bitcoins. And the premium on the purchase is about $3.94. And that equates to about 77%. Now, more interestingly, though, is the impact on the increase in the value of Bitcoin. If we go to 50,000, that'll drive the share price of HUT8 to about $560, 100,000, about $7.50, $200,000, $9, etc., all the way up to $500,000. It will bring the price of HUT8 up to $17 a share. Now, again, that's just assuming their existing business remains stagnant and they don't add any more Bitcoin to their treasury. So I want people to be very clear. This is just to show the impact of the appreciation of Bitcoin in terms of share price. Marathon. I know many of you are Marathon fans out there. Let's look at this real quick. So Marathon have 4,813 shares. They went through a big dilution of shares to actually acquire this Bitcoin. Now, what is important there, they are now 7.28% Bitcoin as a percentage of market cap compared to HUT8, which is nearly a quarter. So they have more or less 3.5 times the relative load of Bitcoin. Now, if you buy one share of Marathon, you're buying 0.00005 Bitcoins. Cost per share today is $30. The Bitcoin value per share is about $2, and the premium is $28. So 93% premium to own Bitcoin. the impact on share price. Basically, if Bitcoin goes from $43,000 today to $500,000, the share price will go from $30 up to $54. So no great big swing there. So that's why I like at least 25 to 50% of the cap being Bitcoin as an asset. Let's jump into the conclusion. And sorry about all these numbers, but I'll summarize them all nicely here so you can all follow, so I don't skip ahead too fast. So the ranking, MicroStrategy. First of all, 33% Bitcoin. That is the number one investment. HUT8, number two, 22.71% Bitcoin. Marathon, 7.28%. Tesla and Square, really, it's extremely negligible. So if you want to ride the Bitcoin train, you're not going to get it with those. Now, the second conclusion is if you want to own Bitcoin, the best way is to just buy pure Bitcoin, with one exception. And that exception is sometimes with options, you can do you can get very amplified gains, like I did in my December option play. And a quick recap of that was I sold the 290 puts and I bought the $300 calls with the money I sold, the money I got. Let's do that again. So conclusion number 3, which is the caveat. If you have a derivative asset like MicroStrategy that has a huge chunk of Bitcoin as a percentage of their overall capitalization, i.e. 25% or more, which is what I define as a huge chunk, and they have options, and you can get very creative around an options trade, you can do incredibly well. So my options trade again, I sold the 290 puts, and at the same time I used that money to buy the $300 calls for December 2021 at a net cost of about $2,000 for 10 contracts. It's $200 a contract. That is my fastest ever 400 bagger in my life in 7 weeks. I've done 500 baggers before, but that one really happened very quickly. It took me by surprise, and even today still takes me by surprise. So that's the power of options. Again, for all those Patreon people out there, thank you for the support. I love the community. We're having our Discord sessions and lots of really good conversations around a whole host of different things like options, technical analysis, trading strategies, what's hot, what's not, taxes, real estate. We do it all. So if anybody's interested, check it out. Watch for the scammers. They are everywhere. There's a new scammer called BitBoy today. And they updated my picture as well. So just be careful. Black Bubble is always me. Thank you so much for the time. Love you all. Stay safe.